Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eran Padumadasa. I'm a doctoral candidate at Queen Mary University of London. I'm here to talk about Bigfoot, unicorns, and privacy. You might be wondering why Bigfoot and unicorns. Well, most of us like to believe that there are unicorns and Bigfoot, but in reality, there's no signs of existence. People now associate privacy from this viewpoint, mainly because of this modern technology-driven world. Privacy fades behind this cloud of technology. It has come to a point where people have started to bring out post-privacy discourses, which suggest that digital privacy is both untenable and socially unrewarding, leading to the assumption that privacy activism and privacy hygiene is not worth the effort. I am optimistic, and I believe that it's not the case, and there is still hope for better online privacy. So the context I take to look at privacy is online behavioral advertising, or OBA, where advertising networks track user behavior across sites and provide more specific, individualistic advertisements based on the user's profile. This is far more different to its predecessor, contextual advertising, which provides advertisements based on the content of the web page. Targeting advertising based on web searches has shown to increase ad click-through rates considerably when compared to untargeted advertising. The element within OBA that tracks user behavior online creates a serious threat to individuals' online privacy. This tracking is vastly done through cookies. I'm sure all of you know about cookies, and at least all the Europeans now know a lot about cookies, all thanks to the e-privacy directive, also known as the cookie law, which came into effect in 2012. This directive requires every website that uses cookies to receive consent from users before planting a cookie. However, the current landscape in tracking has changed significantly, where now websites are able to conduct tracking bypassing this cookie consent requirement using newer technologies such as browser fingerprinting. So basically, the directive required, so for the directive to have jurisdiction, it considers that you need to have equipment that processes data within EU, and they consider these cookies, the small text files, as equipment. And this is an interpretation that was brought in by the Working Party 29. Whereas browser fingerprinting does not plant any text file on the user's computers. It extracts certain attributes from the web browsers, and based on that, they find if the browser is unique or not. So I see the consent in this context as flawed because rejection of cookies would prevent the user from using the website. And this forces the consumers to accept cookies, thereby consenting to the processing of data. When I talk to people, when I ask them how long they take, do they read the privacy policies, some say that just by seeing there's a link would basically satisfy that requirement, and they just click accept. And some, there have been studies done on the time that takes people to click on accept, and surprisingly it's less than 20 seconds. Also, the consumer's internet use has significantly changed, where most individuals now access the internet using smartphones. And cookies, interestingly, do not work that well with smartphones, whereas now the smartphone platforms provide proprietary IDs to track users. This brings in more opportunities for data integration, with fewer major players having massive quantities of consumer data. If I give an example, I've been searching for flights to Washington, and wherever I go to, there's the advertisements following me about flight tickets to Washington, giving specific dates which I have actually entered. And I believe that this could influence people to make decisions, and I believe that this is one of the most important harms of privacy invasion. So what do we do in our research project? We are trying to see if, from one angle, we are trying to see if privacy is socially and culturally constructed. So we are doing a cross-cultural study comparing the Western perspective versus the Asian perspective. And we also want to see if we come across any discourses of loss of control and loss of choice, which leads to our argument on human agency. And with all these, we hope to devise strategies to empower consumer agency, mainly focusing on the aspect of consent. So to figure out how exactly we can improve this, the notion of consent. And looking at the law from a normative perspective would basically help us to improve the legislation in this area. Thank you.